for Gen X Toy Box because we're doing our first ever Zoom interview. And we have Jamal Walton with us. He is a local artist in North Carolina. And let me tell you, his stuff is fabulous. He has a great range of stuff. He actually worked on our personal stuff, like our projects, and very close to our heart. We met him at Zine Fest in Durham. And I don't know if you guys know what Zine Fest is, but it's like pretty much a celebration of all things media. And I don't know, Jamal, is that like the first time that you did Zine Fest that year that you met us, or were you doing it before?
I think I did it the year before, or yeah, because it was like the third year that we met, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I did the first year and I missed the second year because it conflicted with another show that I was doing, and yeah, I did the third year.
Yeah, it's like really cool. Like they have all types of print media out there, and of course we love art. It's just part of our life. So our 14-year-old was there, Xavier, and he was promoting his comic book, and we were giving away our epilepsy stuff. And Jamal just came around our table and was looking and was like really impressed by Xavier and his, willingness and passion for comics. So he offered to work on the project with him, which is really cool. And then years later, here we are. We're friends. We talk, and he's a really cool guy. So I just wanted to kind of show off his art. And we also share a love of Masters of the Universe. Like, guys, look, there's so many toys behind him. It's really awesome. I love it. And he was telling me that is his original Castle Grayskull from childhood, which is really awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about that story that you were telling me before we started?
Which one was that?
About how you were asking your mom about the castle.
Oh, so the Castle Grayskull I got it in second, third grade. So I was like, what, 6, 7, 8 years old?
Yeah.
And I played with it like a normal kid, and eventually I outgrew it, but my mom kept it all these years. Awesome. And she's moved to like 3 or 4 different houses since then. So it's been house hopping with her.
She took it with her.
Yeah, she took it with her, along with a lot of other stuff. I think she's a pack rat. My mom's a pack rat. But recently I was like, hey, do you still have it? And she was just like, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. And I had her bring it up to me, and like it's covered in cobwebs and stuff, but I cleaned it off, and there it is.
Yeah, now it's part of the display. So yeah, we definitely have that in common. So I was like, yeah, I definitely got to interview him. So I'm gonna give him a couple questions. So thank you for agreeing to do the first ever Zoom interview for Gen X Toy Box. So
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. All right. So what is your earliest memory of your drawing experience and your art, and your inspiration? When did you realize art was your thing?
So when I was in kindergarten, the very first thing I remember was we had to do this dental hygiene art thing I was in Oakland, California for kindergarten, and it was a citywide competition for this dental hygiene thing, and my piece won first place for my age group, and so I got like $50 and a baseball signed by Ricky Henderson.
Oh wow!
And a bunch of other stuff that I don't remember now, but. Me and being the kid that I was, of course, I played with the baseball all the time.
Of course.
And eventually it rolled into the sewer. So I lost the baseball. But I still have the drawing. My mom kept it.
That's great.
That's awesome. So she finally gifted it to me, or I stole it from her, one of those two things. And so it's in my art archive. So I have it somewhere.
That's great.
But I tend to keep like the pieces that I remember doing. Like I have a lot of art over the years, but like a lot of it just got lost to time. Mm-hmm. And like a couple years ago, I actually was going to do like an art book that started with that piece from kindergarten through I guess then I was like 36 at that time. So through that period, and I had all my friends from high school and middle school like who had art from me, because they sent me a lot of stuff. So so I ended up scanning and making new art for people, and because I promised everybody who sent me something that I would send it back with something else. So yeah, but I never did finish putting the book together, but I still have all those scans just sitting on my computer somewhere.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, it's cool. And early on, I was just drawing because I enjoyed it. It was just something, I was finished my work in school. I can draw now.
Yeah, right.
And eventually my teachers got tired of me sitting around drawing, and they would send me off to do other things, like, hey, go work on the computer. Hey, go learn how to use this machine. Go do this. So over the years, I built up all of these other skills that helped me in making comics. So I learned how to use copiers. Oh God, back then I learned how to use a mimeograph machine.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
That's before my time.
It's one of those machines. It was old. I guess it was kind of copying technology, but it made everything purple. It's like a purple ink. Yeah, it's really old.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would just send me off to do things because you can't have a kid just drawing all the time.
Yeah, and that's so weird because I definitely know we were talking about the stigma around drawing an artist and the pencil to pencil YouTube video, and there's such a stigma about how the older generations don't believe that art is worthy of a career and worthy of your time. So it was really discouraged. They would send you off to do other stuff because they thought you were just wasting your time doodling, but really they didn't know, lo and behold, you'd be doing it for a living. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I also have another question. What does a kindergartner do with $50, by the way? What do they do with it? What did you do with it?
You buy candy.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Lots of, I think my parents slowly doled it out to me over time.
Okay.
Because otherwise, yeah, I'd have blown it all on candy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, I would too.
Yeah, take the money that you earn from dental hygiene and blow it on candy.
Genius. Awesome. All right. So you were saying you were doing the doodles on your tests and after you get done work in school. But when did you start drifting more into the comic realm and doing more comic art stuff?
Well, so the earliest comic pieces that I remember are pieces that I did copying stuff out of comic books. So that would have been 4th, 5th grade. I actually had an art show in Durham in 2014, and my AG teacher, so AG is AIG now, it's academic gifted. And she came and she had art that I'd done from 5th, 6th grade.
Wow.
And it was this big poster size recreation of a Jim Lee Daredevil Punisher cover. And she had it and she had laminated it and she presented it to me. And she's like, I've been holding on to this for all these years because I knew one day you would have this show and I could bring it to you.
That is
and so I quickly put it behind the door.
That's awesome though.
But yeah, and so I have this other piece from oh God, 6. It's she was my teacher from 5th grade to 8th grade. So somewhere in that period of time, but it's a Jim Lee cover. And I remember buying that comic off the, actually out of the store because we didn't even have a comic book store. I had to go to the local country store and buy my comics. Yeah, so you never knew what you were going to get because you didn't get everything.
That's true. Yeah, it's not like nowadays, I will take one of these, please have them in my box by the end of the week.
Yeah, and I can be like, oh yeah, I missed this one. Can you get me this?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, back then it was just oh, yeah,
you
missed 3 issues because we didn't get them.
Oh, bummer. Oh, well, that's cool. I would love to see those one day, by the way. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
No, one of these days. Yeah, you're like
I hide them.
Fine. All right. So as you've honed your talents and things, like, and you got more comfortable as yourself an artist and learned, kind of the direction where you're going, what lessons have you learned along the way? Like, what's there some things that have sustained you along your art journey?
Uh, for me, art has always been about like stress relief.
Mm.
And so like, I found that the times where I was doing art the most, I was feeling the best.
Oh.
And like, I remember like in high school, I worked on a comic book because I went to the School of Science and Math here in Durham, and they had a special project week where the school gave you $50, and as long as you convince somebody on staff to support your project, because you had to have somebody on staff had to watch over you for that week.
Wow.
You had an entire week, and you had to convince one person that your project was worthy of doing.
That's awesome.
And it could be anybody on campus. So like the security guard, it could the media specialist, anybody. And I chose a comic book. And so I was going to write and draw my own comic book in a week, 20 pages in a week. And I found the art studio would not support my project because they thought it was too ambitious.
Oh.
They were right. But I did manage to get one of the media guys, his name is John Kelly, to support my comic. And he was very hands off. I think I reported to him once the entire time. And I used my $50 to buy Bristol board and ink and little ink nibs, and yeah. And I think I accomplished 5 pages that week.
Wow. But still, yeah. I mean, I say wow because I literally just couldn't do like a page of anything. So
I think I fully finished 5 pages, and I think I'd maybe penciled 2 or 3 more pages beyond that. And I quickly realized that lettering was just going to slow me down. So I had these 5 pages with no dialogue, and I don't think I ever wrote dialogue for this story. But over the course, this was my last year in high school, so and this is spring, and after I didn't finish that week, my goal was to finish before the end of the year.
Okay.
Right. And I actually managed to finish the art and print the book a week before the end of the school.
Wow, you get close.
Yeah. And the great thing about it was like Science and Math has a copy center.
Okay.
And one of the things they require for all their students is you have to volunteer 3 hours a week to someplace in the school. Early on, like it's like you have to spend 3 hours in the cafeteria. You clean plates, you clean up stuff, you help cook. But as a senior, you get to pick where you want.
Oh.
And and I was really good friends with, and still good friends to this day with the lady in the copy center. And so I got the copy center job. Yeah. And so I got to go in there and print my entire comic.
See?
In the copy center.
Very smart.
And I have a copy of it somewhere. So like these shelves are various books, and somewhere right in there is a copy of that comic from 1995 that I fit. And it has no dialogue because again, I just finished the art.
Yeah, that's true. So you were going for 20 in a week, 20 pages, and you got 5. So that's good.
Yeah, and I got 20 over the course of the next 5 months.
But overall you did it. So
yeah, we finished.
Yeah.
And that kind of sparked me wanting to make comic, because during that time I was reading Wizard magazine. Okay. And one of my favorite books during that time is a book called Creed, and it was done by a guy that was roughly my age. His name is Trent Kanuga, and Trent's gone on to do video games and stuff now, but he did a stint on Ghost Rider, and it's not. there's original art on the wall over here.
Okay, got it.
But I have like several Creed pages, but they're smaller pages. He works at a smaller than 11 by 17 size, so they're actually down in the corner. You can't see them, but yeah. And that's kind of, and like knowing that there's this guy my age doing comics kind of pushed me to continue wanting to do it. So even like while I was at Duke, I was still working on comics and doing comics. And then I joined this APA, which is, oh God, I don't even know what APA stands for. But basically, it's kind of like a zine where a bunch of people with similar interests get together and put it together, and then they distribute it amongst themselves.
Okay.
And I met a lot of guys there that were interested in making comics. One of the guys that I met was, his name is Ed Dukeshire. Mm-hmm. And Ed at the time was beginning, like I met him through some online message board at the time, and he was my letterer for that stuff. And I would like, yeah. So like I would draw the stuff and I would send the actual boards to him to letter. Right. And eventually he started lettering on the computer rather than hand lettering. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, we can do this?
Yeah.
And like I was a web programmer at that time and a web designer. And it's like I had all of these, like I had Photoshop, I had Illustrator, I had all these programs. So I was just like, wait a minute, I can do this myself. And so I started lettering my own comics. Cool. And Ed started this message board called Digital Webbing.
Nice.
And he's a letterer now. His main gig is lettering. And like through Digital Webbing, I met all these other people that were interested in comics and doing their own comics. And over time, I just started picking up more and more skills. So I started learning how to color comics. Oh. And like Digital Webbing Digital Webbing actually had its own publishing imprint at one time. And they had a book, an anthology book called Digital Webbing Presents. Okay. And so there are like 5 or 6 stories in there where I was either lettering or grayscaling or coloring some of those stories. And yeah, so, and based on that experience, I just started doing more and more of my own stuff and putting together my own ideas and like becoming more and more comfortable with doing things digitally. Cool. And that's how I got to where I am now. Like during that period, I worked on like doing grayscales on some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff. I actually worked with Val Staples while on the Masters of the Universe comic books.
Awesome.
So, which was really cool because like I'm a big Masters of the Universe fan, and I got to actually have my name and credits on a Masters of the Universe project.
That's awesome. Like you must have loved that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Oh wow. But yeah, so it's like you've learned like slow and steady, get things done, and then different techniques on how to do things, going from all hand done to the computer. So it's like a whole process. Like you've learned a lot along the way. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and over time I've like developed my process and figured out how I like doing things. And so like for most of my stuff, I do it for most stuff in general, I do it almost completely digital. But lately I've been wanting to do more hand-drawn things. So I've been working on my horror movie poster project. So the first one was Candyman.
I saw that. That was amazing.
Yeah. So I drew lots and lots of bees. Lots of bees. and so like there is this physical drawing illustration that you can look at, but I scanned it into the computer, added more bees.
Oh, there you go.
Redrew parts of it and repositioned parts of it. But like I'm working on this hybrid style that is most like clearly digital, but like has this traditional base. And so the next piece that I'm working on is the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I've been working on it forever.
Yeah.
Like I've had to take breaks to do other projects, and yeah, so I'm getting back into the larger piece for that, because everything I've been doing up until now has been like small little pieces. So like 8.5 by 11 and 9 by 6, just slowly working up to this bigger piece. So
yeah,
they're going to be a lot more sketches of that coming up soon.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of sketches for a while, especially like when COVID first happened. Like, weren't you trying to do like a sketch a day or something? You were just trying to just do.
So, let's see, here it is. I have this book that I did, oh God, years ago, but it's called One Sketch a Day.
Oh, look at
Every day for, this is the leap year version. And
wow.
Oh yeah, because this year's a leap year.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
So there's a regular version of the leap year burger. This is actually available on Amazon. But what it is,
wait,
is literally,
you made that book?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And it's literally, this one is literally just blank pages with dates on it. So each page is dated, and it's a total blank book, and you fill it. And it was to encourage me to draw every day.
That's awesome.
And I like, and there's also a undated version that's just like numbers on every page. So you have 365 pages. I don't like that one as much, because I like to know what day I missed.
Right. It's accountability. Yeah.
And so what I do on the days that I miss, I just circle the date, and then I always go back and fill it in. And I kind of, and like they become this like time capsule on what I was doing at the time, because there are some times where I get just like super busy, and it'll be months that I just miss. And it's not that I'm not drawing every day, it's that I'm not drawing in that book every day.
That's true. So I'm definitely going to have to get that, because I'm starting to dabble in some art stuff myself. So I definitely have my own little sketchbook and stuff, but that will definitely help me, because I think for me as an artist, like learning my skills and stuff, I'm just going to have to draw. I'm just going to have to do it. I'm just going to have to practice different things, find out what I like, what I don't like. And doing a sketch a day is probably a really good way to do that. So I'm probably going to hit Amazon after this video. So that's awesome.
It's a $15 book.
That's awesome.
It's this thick.
Yeah.
It's 365, actually it's like 380 pages.
That's awesome though.
There are additional blank pages in there.
Yeah, just in case you're feeling funky one day. I get it.
Yeah, at the end of every month, it skips a page, so the new month always begins on the right side.
Oh, wow. So for people with OCD, it's fantastic like me. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's wonderful.
I'm kind of OCD that way.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I want every month to begin on the right side. So when they're odd number pages, I gotta force it.
I know. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. That's really neat. But I did see a lot of things you were doing, and I mean, you do a lot, and you put a lot of stuff up on your Instagram. Like I love your Jimi Hendrix stuff, your Prince stuff. You do like a little bit of everything, which I really like. It's fantastic, the stuff you do. And I'll probably pop up some pictures of the stuff that you do, the stuff you put on Instagram.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I draw a lot, and a lot of times nobody sees what I'm doing. And once I did my first art show, I was like, oh, people actually like the stuff that I'm doing. And like my art show was actually one of the most popular ones at the gallery at that time. And it's because like what I do is comic and pop art, and that's not what you see in galleries a lot.
Right, that's true.
And it's also contemporary stuff. Like I'm doing drawings of Jimi Hendrix and Nipsey Hussle, like those are the, and so my goal with those portraits is to have enough to fill a book.
Oh,
So
that's
right
really
now,
cool.
I think I'm at around 20-ish of them. And but what I realize is I have a fair amount of random art that I've done over the years, and that have certain themes and or things that I can actually talk about online. And so when I post things, I want to post, I post them when they're relevant. So like Prince's birthday, I will post my Prince poster, or when on the day that he died, I'll post it. Like when Purple Rain comes out. So like I have this list of dates that correspond with each of the prints that I do. And so in social media, I post them. And then there's things that you'll see that come up a lot. So like one of my more recent prints is the one about missing and murdered Indigenous women. And so I make sure that at least once a month you see that, because I want you to know that this is still happening. Like this is important. And yes, and as a Black man, clearly I know that Black lives matter. But there are other minorities that have it rougher than we do. And like Indigenous women are murdered at almost 10 times the rate of any other group. And that's not something we're talking about.
That's very true.
So I make sure that that's there, and because that's important to me.
That's great. And it just really says a lot about you as an artist, that it's not something that's superficial. You're not just doing it, for a paycheck. You're not doing it for money. You're doing it.
No, I'm actually losing money on it. So my promise was, at least for the very first year, every last dime that I make from this print goes to charity. There goes to two different charities, one in the US and one in Canada. And that means that every time I print one of these things, I'm losing money, because I'm giving all the money to these groups.
Right. Yeah.
It was chosen as one of the featured prints in one of the local, the Durham Art Guild had a Swing into Spring fundraiser. And because I was chosen, I was given $100.
Oh wow. People just throw money at you, don't they?
And that $100 went to those two groups. Like, I'm literally making no money on this print. And every dime that every time I print one and every time that I sell one, I'm losing money, but it's important.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And as a collector of art, that means a lot to me, because it's like I said, it's not superficial. It comes from the heart and it means something to you. So. Yeah.
And so and also recently you'll see the Nipsey Hussle one pop up a lot.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, if you guys are not following him on Instagram, you probably should, because I'm always just like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. But again, that'll be in the description for you guys later. But well, speaking of like your art, I have like a little silly question. What is like the weirdest or most out there thing that anybody has ever asked you to draw? Because you do some commissions here and there.
I do a lot of commissions.
Okay.
Over the years, I've become more selective because I've gotten some like commissions that I wouldn't be comfortable doing now. Whereas back in the day, I did them because it's money is money.
Yeah.
But recently I had to do a memorial dog portrait.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. So in November of last year, I did a series of portraits in my pop art, one of the pop art styles that I do for a family. And they used it as their Christmas photo. So the three members of the family. And in this spring, their dog died. And so they contacted me to do a portrait of their dog in that style, so that they would They have everybody.
Oh, that's sweet.
So yeah. So
That's
that
interesting. Yeah.
that's been the most interesting one recently.
Really.
And like I usually avoid doing dog
Well, I saw it and it came out beautiful. Because I remember that whole story about how you were in the middle of doing this and their dog passed and they wanted you to add it. So yeah, no, it came out great. So you should do more dogs.
Thank you. Yeah, like dog like people contact me all the time to do portraits,
Mhm.
and I will say that I'm really bad at capturing people's likenesses, but people love them, so I keep doing them.
Well, there you go.
And
Yeah.
and so like all of these portraits of famous people that I've been doing is because I wanted to get better at capturing likenesses.
Okay.
And and it just so happened that, so that people like them, and so I continue to do them. But like people always talking about the Kaepernick one, people love the Kaepernick one, and I was just like, yeah, but the funny thing about the Kaepernick one is because my dad is from the West Coast,
Mhm.
like we were, and he was from Oakland.
Mhm.
When the Raiders went to LA, the Raiders ceased to exist.
Aw.
And so we became 49ers fans
Okay.
until the Raiders came back to Oakland. And now that the Raiders are in Las Vegas, they don't exist anymore, right? But like, so I've always been a San Francisco fan, and my birthday is on July 7th, so it's 7/7, and I was born in 77, so it's
Wow.
7777, so it's all sevens. So when Kaepernick is at San Francisco and he's wearing the number 7,
Oh, there you
he's my
go.
boy, right? And so like I actually did that print in that picture well before he became this, before people started complaining about him kneeling, because
Oh, yeah.
and I actually altered it after the fact because originally his eyes were open
Mhm.
and now they're closed in it. And like that was literally the only thing that I changed in it.
There you go.
And it's my most popular print at this point.
That's great. I like that.
But
I
it all
actually not
started
seen that
because
one.
it's the gold one. It's the crimson and gold, the 49ers colors, because I'm a 49ers fan. And it's just weird to because like I have these prints that are very political but
Mhm.
don't seem to be political.
Mm.
So like the Kaepernick one, like gets like when I'm out and about doing shows, gets a lot of attention
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everybody knows who Kaepernick is.
Mhm.
But the Kaepernick one always, when I'm displaying it, it's always right beside the Nipsey Hussle one.
Got it.
And
Very purposeful.
the thing about the Nipsey Hussle one is I actually give a discount
Oh,
on it for anybody who knows where the lyrics are from.
there you go. See, that's smart.
Yeah, and so I never tell anybody where the lyrics are from. But if you just do a quick Google search, you'll know, and which makes it that much more political.
That's true because now you have knowledge of something you didn't have before. So.
And it's from a anti-Donald Trump song.
Oh, see, there you go. That'll do
Yeah.
it every time.
Yeah.
Every time. That's so great.
But yeah, I offer a discount to anybody. It's like $10 off, whatever size, if you know where it's from.
Awesome.
And like, I very rarely give that discount to anybody because most people don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to do your homework.
See, that's very smart. All right, so I'm going to show off actually. So this is a Motu backing card, right? This is one of the originals. And this is the Horde Trooper one that my husband had this displayed and I ripped it off the wall. Shh, don't tell him. So this is the reference of what we were going for. And this is what you did for us. Like you knocked it out of the park, sir. Like,
I'm not.
yeah, it's absolutely,
Nah.
we were stunned, right? Like, the attention to detail is really awesome, and I thought it's really beautifully done. Like,
I'm glad you guys like it. It
yeah,
was challenging. The very, especially the small figures at the bottom. Those are very challenging
yeah, yeah, they're little
because
pieces.
yeah, they're all their little faces and their little details.
So what did you use for, like, I was really curious, this like white part right here, it almost looks like white out. So I was like,
It is. It is. I have a whiteout pen that I use. It's over here. Yeah, it's a Presto
I love
whiteout pen. Yeah, and I also use gel pens. Like I have a white gel pen that I use.
Oh yeah,
So
I
yeah,
love that effect. Like that's like one of my favorite things about, just I love getting like like a black paper with this stuff on it, and it's just the whole splatter thing. Like
yeah.
it just does.
That is one of the reasons why I buy a lot of original art, probably more than I should, because I like to see different people's techniques, and that's the way you actually see it. Like I do a lot of stuff digitally now, and I, and I'm always conflicted about it because like digital stuff allows me to work at my computer where I'm at all the time. And because I'm a computer programmer, it allows me to just stay where I'm comfortable, which is how I started doing the digital stuff.
Yeah.
But there are no longer any physical, tangible objects. You can't see the person's process.
That's true.
Like, and me myself, I like those tangible things, and I buy a lot of original art. So like, there's some over there behind me on the wall, but like, I think I have like 10 times that amount stashed away in various places.
Yeah, we have
like I have my own Masters of the Universe commission thing. I also have like just various art from various comic book projects that I've loved over the years. And like I have various artists that I follow and try not to buy all of their stuff.
Yeah, that's hard. Like we've made a lot of friends in the community, fortunately. So like if there's something we really need done or want done, we're just like, who would be really great at that?
Yeah.
We just pass it off. Like, so we do, as you know, Jamal, we do a lot of our original characters. My husband does Tote Man for epilepsy awareness, and he did this awesome Tote Man. I thought he was so cute. I love him.
Tote Man.
Tote
Yeah.
Man all day long. So yeah, I loved it. And guys, I didn't show you the back, but look at the little stamp he's got.
Yeah, I have a stamp that I've been starting to put on everything.
Yeah, I was wondering, is that like a new thing? Did you just start the stamp?
It is relatively new, and it started because a lot of people want me to sign their prints.
Got it.
And like the problem with that is all the prints that I have are already sealed and plastic, and so you have to take them out. Sometimes they get stuck to the sticker, the little adhesive on the back. So I started just signing them on the back. And at some point in time, I bought the stamp for some reason. Oh, it's because I got brown paper bags to put I sell postcards, and I got the brown paper bag and I was going to just stamp all the paper bags, so that because I like branding everything.
Well, I mean, plus it's easy. You don't have to do a lot of stuff, and it's like your face. Like, how can you not know? It's your face.
Yeah, and so I had the stamp, and I don't actually end up using the actual brown paper bags. I actually end up drawing on them a lot, and just like selling the drawings on the bag. And so I have this stamp that I wasn't using, so I was like, "Ooh, that would be great." So then everybody knows that this is from me versus anybody else, because like literally anybody could buy one of my prints and then scan it and then sell as many copies as they want to of it.
Yeah.
So
not nice people. Not
yeah.
nice.
But by having the stamp, you have a legitimate Jamal print.
Exactly. That's awesome. And so I'm gonna dig into the toy part of the interview because
Ooh, toys.
we love toys. So
I call them toys rather than action figures.
I love toys because I will sit there and play with stuff. We got the Primal Age, the DC Primal Age new set, and we actually got like the play set, and I was like
Ooh.
with it for like a good half.
What was in the Primal Age one?
So we got Batman, Joker, Mr. Freeze,
Oh, is
Scarecrow.
that the one with King Shark?
Yes.
Yeah, I got the King Shark out of that set, and that was it.
Beautiful. It's like very.
I love them because they look like the Masters of the Universe figures.
Yes, they do. And that's why I was playing with them. We just bought the Joker's beast that he rides, and Mr. Freeze took over, and he's riding it right now. So I was playing with that last night before bed.
I also got the Thundercats ones.
Oh, see, I did not.
Yeah, there's the Primal. They did the Thundercats. They had 2 waves of those, I believe. I think, yeah.
They did Primal Age.
Because the first wave didn't include Chitara, and so Chitara's in the second wave.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because now I'm probably gonna go have to find it. But so who is your favorite from the Motu line? Like, who's your favorite? Good guy, whatever.
My favorite is actually Cyclone.
Okay.
And so when Masters of the Universe first came out, my parents refused to buy it for me because they expected them to be like the GIJoes, the small ones that I would lose and break. Okay. But when they actually saw them, they were like, oh. And so it took them 2 years so 2 years later, that Christmas, I got Castle Grayskull, Skeletor. It was Battle Armor Skeletor.
Nice.
And Roboto, was it the Thunderclap He-Man, Cyclone, and Fisto.
Oh, I love Fisto.
Yeah, but the problem with that was I had like 4 or 5 good guys in Skeletor.
I know.
Yeah. And over the years, being a kid, I broke most of them, like the legs snap off and blah, blah, blah. But Cyclone was the last one that I had. So he became a favorite.
Awesome. He withstood the test of time. So he became the favorite. That is awesome.
He ended up on the roof of some house.
Okay.
I attached parachutes to him.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
They threw him up in the air, and he ended up on the roof of somebody's house.
Wow. I can't imagine. Like, I wonder if it's still there. Like,
no, it's probably not. They've been through it's been through several hurricanes.
Oh, then yeah, no, Cyclone got sucked up in the cyclone. So there you go. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Cyclone.
I know. So who do you like to draw? Do you also like to draw Cyclone, or do you
actually the one that I like to draw the most is actually Scareglow.
Okay, yeah, he's awesome.
He's kind of cool.
Yeah. Haven't you done a Mantana?
Oh no, the Mantana that. Oh no, I do have a Mantana as part of my collection, my commission collection. I just got it within the last 3 weeks. How do you know about that?
I don't know.
I don't think I've posted it online yet.
No, I could have swore you did. I could have swore there was something about a Mantana on your Instagram. I could have swore. I don't know. Maybe it was wishful thinking. Maybe.
But I do. It is coming up. The Mantana that I commissioned is coming up. Cool. I think it's next week sometime. Yeah. I schedule all this stuff in advance. So.
Awesome. So what do you have any like future projects you're working on? Do you have, well, I know you've been working on the Creature from the Black Lagoon kind of thing, but like what else do you have? Like any upcoming stuff that you look for?
I'm always working on this project called it's Tigray East of Warmageddon. We're currently in season 2 of it. Okay. I'm not drawing it. I do the plots. Ooh. And I letter and color it. But I'm working with an Italian artist for this season. And I think we are 32 strips in.
Oh wow.
Eventually, usually after we finish a season is when we start posting it online.
Cool.
So that it's usually about, well, it's been about a year since the last one went up.
Okay.
But yeah, we're working through that. I always have this my larger project that I'm constantly working on and never seeming to make very much progress on is a project called Ungoodwise.
Okay.
And I've literally been working on this project for 20 years.
Oh wow.
Like,
That's a big project.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I'll get like 6 pages in, and then I'll have an entirely new idea, or life happens.
Yeah.
And I constantly, so I'm on page 3, I believe. I just finished. Yeah, I just finished inking page 2. I've got one full colored page, and I've inked page 2. I know how these first 8 pages are going to work, and eventually I will finish it.
Okay.
Like,
maybe
the way I work on this one is like I come up with like scenes. And so like I know how the first 3 scenes of it are going to come together, and I just have to do the work.
Awesome.
But
you'll get there.
Life always happens.
Always.
But I actually have an interview next week for another project that I may be doing all of the art for.
Ooh, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you that it works out.
And if so, that will be coming out next spring. It's a 100-page graphic novel.
Oh, I love me some graphic novels.
And this one is about minorities in programming. So
that's even better.
So it's kind of cool, and they like my style, and that's why they contacted me about it. But it's just a question of can Jamal do 100 pages in like 5 months?
I know you can. You can do it.
Oh, it's possible. The question is, what is the quality of it going to be?
I think I especially think if it's something that you're passionate about, that you will be able to.
So my daughter just started, my oldest daughter just started NC State.
Oh, nice.
And she's going in computer science.
Ooh.
And so her very first English research project was about the Black women that graduated from state. That's in the
great.
computer and in the computer science program. They graduated 2 last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So like this project kind of hit all the right spots for me. So I'm hoping that I'll get to do it, but yeah, it'll come down to budget and my ability to crank out that many pages, because I'll be doing like pencils, inks. I'll be doing literally everything but writing.
Oh, wow.
Like colors, lettering. Yeah. And but luckily I'm coming to the end of other projects that I've been working on. So for the last 7 years, I've been working with Edgar Rice Burroughs on their comic strips. And at one point in time, I've only done lettering and coloring for them. But at one time I was lettering and coloring 2 strips and doing the lettering on a 3rd strip. And I'm literally down to the last 5 strips that I have to letter. And those will be done by the end of this week. So I'm transitioning away from other projects. So hopefully like this all comes together and I'll be able to do it. I fully expect that I'll have to take some time off of my day job in order to get it done, but I got lots of time to take off.
Well, that's good. That's great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time and, telling us about, your whole journey, how you really got into your creative styles. And, it just means a lot to me. And I'm sure it means a lot to other people out there that you really do have a heart for what you do. And you put a lot of thought into your art and the way you display things and how, you take on projects that are really close to your heart. So it means a lot. And I'm really hoping that works out for you, that whole deal. And, I wish you the best of luck with everything. And thank you for, having time to talk to me tonight. And thanks for displaying your toys so cool. So we can both like eye each other's toys as we talk.
Yeah, I've been enjoying all of the figures behind me. I feel bad that mine are all pop figures. Like I don't have like the Masters of the Universe original figures.
Yeah, we have a whole section over on the other side of the room. That's our pop section. This is the origins, the new stuff that's coming out, and like the Transformers.
Take the pop out of the box.
We have some out of the box. We have some in the box, and we have like new for 2020 in the box. The one that doesn't have new for 2020 in the box, and then we have one loose. So we got it all covered. Like it's.
And yeah, you have all the Masters of the Universe pops.
No, I think we're still working on them because Funko really, really botched that one.
The very first wave. Oh.
They botched it. So we're still trying to go back and get some, but we do have Scareglow, like the most sought after one we have. So
there's a Scareglow?
There is. Yeah.
And you have the large disco one?
The Skeletor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got him. He's in the box still.
Yeah. Oh no, I took them all out of the box. All out of the box.
No, they're in the box.
Yeah, my only regret in taking them out of the box and letting my kids play with them, because I did, is I have the original Skeletor and his Havoc staff is broken.
See, that kids have no respect for weapons. I will tell you that right now. Little ones do not understand weapons.
Yeah.
You go on eBay and look to replace He-Man weapons, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I want to do with my Castle Grayskull is get all of the original parts, because it's missing. It's literally just the skull, the frame. It's the blaster and the stickers, all of that stuff. I need to. And I'm like, at that point, I might as well just buy a new one.
Buy a whole new one. No.
Buy a whole new vintage one. But yeah.
That'll be. Oh, that's a.
But I have the She-Ra from the first run.
See. The She-Ra castle?
No, the She-Ra pop.
Oh yeah, do we? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't think so.
The pop, some of the pops upset me because they don't stand up on their own.
Yeah, that's why I hold them in the box.
And She-Ra's one of those that fall over, so I had to put her in the back of the shelf and prop her up.
Yeah, and like all the She-Ras don't really stand that well. Like even with like the newer ones that came out, like the classics and everything. Like because they had the big old clunky hair. That's what it is. And it just doesn't fall. Like, please just give them the Barbie hair, please. Anyway, I digress. That's the whole thing. Like, just give me the hair, not the plastic. And I want a comb. I want a comb to go with the hair. But anyway, I digress. But thank you so much. I'm going to be putting up little snippets of your art. And again, guys, keep an eye out in the description for all of Jamal's awesomeness for Instagram and all that. And get in touch with them if you need anything. And Jamal, thank you again for seeing us and having time with us. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. All right.